Africa, Pakistan, a limited over series starts tomorrow. We've got 7 matches over the course of 2 weeks, so a very tight schedule. It's an odd time to be playing cricket in South Africa. We don't really see many games played in what is now the autumn in South Africa, which will mean actually the bowling conditions will suit seamers more than it will anybody else. In this current cycle for the World Cup, we are using a league system to determine who qualifies for the World Cup. It's the top 8 that qualify. We've not had much cricket in this cycle so far from an ODI perspective, although Pakistan do sit 8th, which isn't great, having played a couple of series. South Africa haven't played anything within this cycle to count. So an important series for both Pakistan and South Africa. But South Africa especially are going to be hampered by the fact that the IPL starts very soon, and only for the first 2 matches will they have a full squad available to select from, and after the 2 games, 5 of their top players, particularly the bowlers, are going to be flying out to join the IPL teams. Now, for international cricket, Khizar, that's not a great sign where teams are allowing happily, in this case, players to fly off and play domestic cricket instead of international cricket.
South Africa struggle to retain players anyway. If they're not left to come play Kolpak in England or play PSL or retire early as, AB de Villiers, the great AB de Villiers did to try and make the money. So, end of the day, we can talk about how much control the board has over its players, but it comes down to the ICC. You need to have windows in place for these tournaments to happen. It happens with football. You need to do the same in cricket. We need to have, as was planned when, the big 3 got together and said, look, we're going to sort this out. Everyone's going to play each other. It's going to be fair. Everyone will get a chance to make money, and there'll be windows for these tournaments. It simply hasn't happened. Okay, Corona's come in this year and affected that, but this needs to come from the ICC. They need to have you got to have a window for the IPL because it's the big one. You got to have one for the Big Bash, and you've got to have international cricket around that. That's the only way that we're going to solve this.
Yeah, Azam, I think unfortunately this particular series was organised at sort of late notice, which meant it fell within the period that the IPL was always due to be played. South Africa will be missing some of their top bowlers. So we're talking about Ndidi, Nortje, and Rabada, amongst some other players. Quinton de Kock as well will be flying out. So does that mean that Pakistan are in a good chance of winning this series?
Yeah, I think both teams are kind of going through a building phase. I think there's a lot of new faces to the South African team, South African squad, much like the Pakistan squad, maybe not as much or at the same level. What I would say, I know a lot of the South African bowlers are kind of heading off to the IPL, but some of the backup bowlers that were in the T20 squad when they were in Pakistan, they kind of, they're no slouches, so they'll be there. They'll be kind of given a tough kind of tough examination for the Pakistani batsmen. And again, we're going to foreign conditions, where, as you say, the ball will be seaming around. So it'll be interesting to see how the Pakistanis handle that. And as you say, for the first 2 games, we will be facing a full-strength bowling attack. So it's not like we're going there, we're playing their C-level bowlers, D-level bowlers off the bat. So it'll be good to see how we adapt to the bowlers in the first 2 ODIs and then how we can get on after that as well.
So let's take a look at the Pakistan's likely playing 11 for tomorrow's game. So here we have the likely playing 11 on the left-hand side, and we've got the other squad members shown on the right-hand side. It's a pretty a list of players that we know and we've seen play quite regularly. The only newbie that we've got in the squad or in the team is likely to be Danish Aziz. Is there any thoughts about the squad in general and just the fact that it seems to be quite a consistent group of players that we're using?
Okay, yeah. Looking at the Pakistan likely playing 11, the first thing that comes to mind is there's been a lot of chat in the background about Sarfraz Ahmed playing the game as a wicket-keeper batsman and Mohammad Rizwan giving up the gloves. So I'm going to talk about that first. I think that if Sarfraz is coming in, because he's the next batsman after, who was it that got injured? It was Danish Aziz, wasn't it?
Saud Shakil got injured.
Saud Shakil, sorry. Yeah. So he was taken out, and obviously the chat is that the management believe that the next best batsman in the squad to replace him is Sarfraz Ahmed. If we're bringing Sarfraz in as a batsman, then they're talking about him keeping wicket because they want to bat Mohammad Rizwan higher. Mohammad Rizwan is probably the best gloveman in the world just now, and no doubt about his current batting form. I'm not too keen on taking the gloves away from him. If you're bringing in Sarfraz to play as a batsman, play him as a batsman. If the two of them play, where do they bat? If Mohammad Rizwan's pushed up to the top of the order, then do you keep Imam ul-Haq, and probably it'll be Fakhar Zaman that makes way. But they're talking about recently about this new brand of cricket and how they're going to play aggressive cricket, modern cricket. So they're probably trying to set up a batting order to reflect that, and maybe that's where Asif Ali comes in, who was a last-minute replacement for Saud. Other than that, guys like Hassan Ali not making it, or Haider Ali not making the squad, I'm not too sure about. Mohammad Nawaz, I would like to see him in because he's done a good job, but most people are keen for Shadab to play, but Shadab's not performed well with the ball of late. But then you've got a lot of all-rounders in there. You've got Fahim Ashraf, who could easily bat in the top order based on current form. You've got Shadab Khan, and you've got Nawaz. I would like to have seen Usman Qadir in there as the leggy. So yeah, there's start of the series, there's a lot of unknowns. Top order, the only thing we're certain of is Babar Azam and Shaheen Shah Afridi, and Fahim Ashraf you could add to that based on form, Mohammad Rizwan. The rest, I'm not too sure about. I'd love to see Haider Ali, Hassan Ali, Nawaz, and Usman Qadir in that lineup, but who do we take out? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Hassan Ali picked up a bit of a knock, they were saying, so I think he's just been eased back into the squad. I would point out that Hussain actually I thought looked really good in the PSL, the short PSL week that we had. Shaheen Shah Afridi, obviously top class, and I think the one person that keeps getting in the squad undeservedly, in my opinion, is Haris Rauf. And I think he's the man that could easily make way for Hassan Ali or another bowler. Azam, there's a lot of talk recently about, from Babar Azam specifically, about changing the way that Pakistan batting in a more aggressive style, something maybe that we've seen from England and India recently. Does this group of players have it within them to play in that manner?
Personally, no, I don't think the squad's kind of built that way. Obviously, you've got players like Imam, Babar, Mohammad Rizwan, and I think they're kind of more stroke players, whereas some of kind of England's players, they go out there, they give the ball a bash. But I think they are trying to do the right thing. I think they are now trying to go and play cricket in the right manner. I think it's going to take quite a period of time, so we need to kind of give them that opportunity. As we've seen with England, it did take them quite a number of years to get it right, to go through that phase and see what worked for them. Again, I think it'll be the same with Pakistan. But right now, I think I imagine they'll be doing a lot of tinkering to try and get the setup and the balance right. And they'll probably just take it on like a series by series basis, hopefully.
Just on that point, if you can, we're talking about England playing a certain way or India playing a certain way. There's two ways of doing it. You can pick the batsmen who play like that. But I feel what we're trying to do in Pakistan is we're taking our best batsmen and telling them to bat in a way which may be alien to them. And looking at that squad, you've got you've got Fakhar Zaman there, Asif Ali, who's been maybe brought in to do that job, and Haider Ali, who could possibly play in that way. And then how you split them up within the batting order. Rizwan's going to play his way. He scored at a good rate, but he does play as you said, as a stroke player, as is Imam, as is Babar Azam. But this is ODI cricket, and I think you can get away with a balance of that. You know, we go back to the England-India series, and England were in really good positions a number of times, but they maybe didn't need to go out and play that way. But then they say, oh, well, this is the way we're going to play, and sometimes it won't come off. But I think you've got to play the game and the match at that point. And I think having that balance might be better in ODI cricket anyway. So if we've got Fakhar Zaman playing and we bring Haider Ali across and you do play Asif Ali, then you've got three guys there who can do what you ask of them. And then if they can bat around the likes of Babar Azam and the way Mohammad Rizwan's batting just now, and even Fahim Ashraf, who I would push into the middle order, just because I think, especially in South Africa, we're going to get pace. He plays pace well, front foot and back foot. I'd like to see Fahim Ashraf up the order to maybe try and push things along and have someone like Haider Ali in there as well.
Azam, do you think they're trying to fit Shadab Khan into this squad just because, you know, they put a lot of faith in him in the past and they think that he could return wickets and runs, whereas we've got Usman Khader in the squad who actually, you know, bowled really well against South Africa in the series they played in Pakistan?
I think it's a combination of that and a combination of they kind of want the extra batter in there. Obviously his batting's come on a wee bit, so I think it's that. To be honest, as Khizar said earlier, I've not been impressed with his bowling at all. If you kind of look when he burst onto the scene compared to where he is now, he's regressed so much. It's kind of shocking to see kind of like that kind of demise in a player, especially in his bowling. I think he's bowling too many googlies, and sometimes he's not sure. He doesn't have that like game plan that he used to. I don't know if it's because he's constantly feeling under pressure now, and maybe it's something he needs to kind of go away and work on. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen Usman Khader in the team, definitely.
I think because of his batting success, especially the previous PSL, and people start talking about him in that light, he's not spending as much time on his bowling. You look at that. If you bring up that likely playing 11 there, how many bowling options have you got there? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bowling options. In those 5, you have got Shadab and Haris Rauf, who might not have a good day. You've got Mohammad Hasnain, who's fairly young, and Fahim Ashraf, who won't expect to bowl his full quota of overs normally. We are a bowler short in there, and playing Shadab Khan for batting maybe at 7 or 8, or even 6 possibly, but 7 or 8 doesn't make sense. I would bring in a wicket taker in Usman Khader in his place. I'm not saying he's going to get away with 10 better overs, but more likely to do so. If you have someone like Mohammad Nawaz in there as well, gives you the 6th bowling option. You've got to have a 6th bowling option in ODI cricket.
Yeah, I mean, they've gone with 5 bowlers here, and I can't see any other batsman that's going to turn into a bowler on the day. Azam, you want to say?
I was going to say that obviously when Hussain Ali does come back, you'd think he'd get into the playing 11 once he's fit, so he can kind of swing the bat as well. So you've always got that option.
On that point, guys, Babar Azam today made a statement that Hussain Ali is fit and available for selection.
Whether they pick him, yeah, for me, then he definitely gets in, because I think that bowling lineup does look pretty inexperienced. I would only really bank my cap on Shaheen Afridi to kind of deliver, with the rest being two or three of them being relatively new. And as you say with Fahim, he doesn't really bowl his full quota.
Okay, gentlemen, I think the game is on tomorrow, 9 a.m. in the UK, and it's actually being shown by Sky Sports. So, Pakistan fans have gotten used to watching their cricket in a high quality format these days, much better than the standard definition, or even lower quality than the standard definition that we used to be used to in the last couple of years. So certainly, hopefully everybody will tune in for that game, and we can then discuss the result and the ongoing limited over series over the next few weeks. After this series in South Africa, Pakistan do go on to play Zimbabwe in another limited over series and 2 test matches as well. So there's plenty of cricket for Pakistani fans to be watching over the next couple of months.
Before we go, can I ask both of you for a prediction for Pakistan's top run scorer and top wicket taker, please?
I see Imam Al-Haq being the top run scorer after a wee while out, and I think, without doubt, Shaheen Shah Afridi is the top bowler in the squad. So I think he's going to be top wicket taker.
I'll go with Mohammad Rizwan. I think he'll get the top run scorer and have to agree on wickets. I don't see anyone getting past Shaheen Shah Afridi if he plays more or less the full series, depending on rotation.
Shaheen Shah Afridi and Babar Azam.
Thanks very much for joining me today. We will catch up again soon.